Do they care about your hair? Do they care about your style or your curl? If you said no to any of these questions, then you should go to Menzie Salon, 22884 Ryan Road in Warren. Call 248-278-3158. At Menzie Salon, they care about your hair. They care about your cut, your color, and your style. Menzie Salon, 22884 Ryan Road in Warren. Call them at 248-278-3158. That's 248-278-3158. Menzie Salon, where they care about your hair, they care about your cut, your color, your curl, and your style.
When you're ready to own your own business, to be the boss, you'll need some help. Let American Capital Solutions be your first call. With 30 years of customer retention, development, and satisfaction, American Capital Solutions are recognized as industry leaders. We assist in brand awareness with corporations like Rolls-Royce Motor Cars, casinos and resorts, concerts and music festivals worldwide. Success is what we do. Existing businesses may need equipment or money for expansion. Contact Michael Cash at American Capital Solutions and apply for a business loan today. American Capital Solutions approves loans for those who qualify from $5,000 to $50 million. The daily demands of business expenses can stop you from achieving your goals for you and your family. Call Michael Cash at American Capital Solutions at 313-808-5940 or visit our website at americancapital.solutions.com. Are you ready to be the boss? American Capital Solutions.
You've heard Now Listen. WJZD Radio, Detroit.com.
Well, this is going to be the hardest show that I've probably ever had to do. So this is the way we say goodbye to the Rose, to an icon, to a Motor City staple, the lady who taught us jazz and who was my friend, who was my teacher, who was more like a mom to me than anything. Always, just telling me, Don, don't do it that way. Do it this way. And Don, you heard this? Have you heard this new one? For those of you not from Detroit, we lost a legend here in the city. Every major jazz artist knew this woman. Good morning, Janae. This is going to be tough for me. I heard about this yesterday, and I couldn't seem to hold things together while I was at work. And it's just challenging to see and to know that somebody that you depended on for information and for direction is just not going to be here anymore. I did have the privilege and the pleasure and the honor, yes, indeed, Mr. Van Knox, to work with, to hang out with, to joke with Miss Rosetta Hines. And I am still reeling from the loss of my friend. All day yesterday, I couldn't stop thinking about all the times that me, O'Neill, Rosetta, Doc, and Tony Hoy were down in the studio. And it got to me. I'm not a real emotional person. At least I try not to show it, but indeed I am. So this hour, you guys know me. You guys know I normally carry notes, and I write up the day before. I will write pages and pages of notes to do this show. I scrapped it. I said the hell with it. Today is all about Rose, and until we say our final goodbyes to Rose, till that day comes, we're going to be playing a lot. You're going to hear that name a lot. The Rose in full bloom. She used to say thank you for the day. Every single day. Every single day. One of her favorite songs to end her show was by Jean-Luc Ponty, and you'll hear it today. It's called Gardens of Babylon. You'll also hear music from Grant Green, Willie Bobo, Al Jarreau, Roy Ayers. Matter of fact, a couple from Roy Ayers, because her and Roy were very good friends. The Manhattan Transfer and some Pat Metheny as well. And throughout the day, even when I shut the cameras off, you will hear a lot of Rosetta. A lot of the jocks here. Kyle will be playing and making mention of some of the things that Rosetta has done and said. However, on this show, for those of you who've never heard Rose, never had the privilege to hear this lady speak, I found some clips from some of her shows, and we're going to listen to them, and then I'll come back, and we'll carry on from there. How's that? Okay? This is how we're going to do it.
WJZZ Jazz 106. Good morning, Usto El Mario. In your dreams, Simply Red, You Make Me Believe, in special effects Night Rhythm. To Alita Adams, Cloud 68, WJZZ Jazz 106.
Now that one was really short. I know it was. And can you guys hear me? Okay. I hope you guys can hear me, because I can't hear me, and that's a problem. Okay. This is not a good time for this to happen, but we're going to carry on anyway. I can see my voice, but I can't hear me, so bear with me for a moment while I get all the toys in order. Check 1, 2. Can you hear me? Hello. Today is all about Rose, Rosetta Hines. Yes, it's all about the Rose. Let me see what's going on here. Hello. Check 2. Are we there? There we are. There we are. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. All day today, you're going to hear some of Rose's favorite music. And these are songs that I heard her personally play. I walked in the studio and she was playing Grant Green, A Day in the Life. And I just have to sit and remember all the great times that we shared together. I remember her being mad at me and Doc. I remember her cussing out me and Tony Hoy. But it was all in love, guys. It was all in love. That's how Rose was. She was always about her business. And many of you, the ladies who are listening right now, you can attest to this, that Rosetta taught, aside from the jazz, Rosetta taught women how to be a lady, how to be sophisticated, because she brought that sophistication to the studio with her each and every day. And it was not an act, it's how she was. Rose was always sophisticated, was always a class act each and every day that she walked in the studio. And don't get me wrong, Rose could go straight up, hood on you when she needed to, because that moment required it. But for the most part, she was always a class act, always directing me, because something she saw in me that, and she shared it with me. I remember the last time we spoke, which incidentally was an honor for me. Just last summer at the Kimmy Horn Jazz Fest, we presented Rosetta. I had the distinct privilege of presenting Rosetta with a Lifetime Achievement Award. And while we were in the trailer, our dressing rooms, she sat and she talked with me and Kimmy and Carolyn Clifford from Channel 7. But she and I shared a private moment together. And she was like, Don, I've been listening to your new radio station. I like it. And I got to tell you, don't you quit. Don't you ever quit, because, I mean, what you're doing is special. And when I get better, I want to come and be on the air with you. And I told her, Rose, there's always going to be a mic open for you. Don't you ever worry about that. There's always going to be a mic open for you. And that's the last thing I remember her telling me. So with that being said, I've been ordered and ordained by the Motor City Queen of Jazz to keep this thing going. And believe me, with guys like G and Mike and Waldo and Corey and Cassie and T-Mac and Colt and Kyle and Foodie, J Squared, Billy T, with all these individuals, we will keep it going. Something else I realized that back in those days, Rose was teaching me, things that I would have never learned at Specs Howard or anything like that, or any broadcast school. She was teaching me how to, morning, John, how are you? She was teaching me not only the technique of how to approach a microphone, but how to enunciate, articulate things when I said them. Know what you were going to say before you say it. And you'll hear more clips of her. Incidentally, I did put some more clips in. You'll hear another clip of her just before we go into the stop set. And I've got another one when we come out of the stop set. And we've got a real long one just closer to the top of the hour. So, guys, if you've never heard, good morning, Marathon, how are you? You'll hear Rosetta one last time, and, it's a great loss for me. It just, when I got the message yesterday, it just took the wind out of my sails. It was just, I was devastated. And sadly, I've always considered myself to try to always stay prepared for this, and it just let me know that A, I'm human, and B, that we all will join Rose, so don't get it twisted. We all will join Rosetta Hines. Before we do that, we will kneel before the Almighty, and we will confess. So, hey, good morning, Carolyn. Thank you all for joining us this morning. We are saluting and paying tribute to the great, to the legend, to the icon, to my friend, to my teacher, to my coworker, to my boss. She was all that. She was my mom, too. She was everybody's mama at the station and could cook. Rosetta could cook herself off. I'm not going to say that other word. I'm not going to swear, even though I've heard her swear before. You guys haven't. I have. Me, Tony Hoy, Doc, O'Neill, too. He's heard her swear. O'Neill, incidentally, promised me he was going to put together a journey that he took with Rosetta. So, really, Pamela, Pam Donahoe, she used to work with us at WJZZ, and she left her a message. And I spoke with Cliff Coleman yesterday, and he was trying to reach out to her, but she was, this was in her final moments, and that call could not be completed. He did speak to her son, and that call was unable to be completed because she just was too weak. Gino Vanelli, keep on walking. Okay, I'll see if I can work that one in, Mr. Van Knox. everybody, Pam, I got to tell you, I have spoken to the entire staff at WJZZ all day yesterday. I mean, I spoke to Cliff. I reached out. I was in communication with Vanice, and communication with Kyle. Foodie called me. Everybody but Billy, and I know Billy is taking a real hit on this one, because Billy knew everybody just like I know everybody. And, when something like this happens, this is really, really tough. Good morning, Michelle. Thank you for joining us today. Today we're celebrating the life and music of Miss Rosetta Hines. God rest her soul. And one thing I got to say, and I got to say this, if there is a such thing as radio in heaven, it must sound real good, because they've got Rosetta Hines, they've got Doc Larry Elliott, they've got Tony Hoy. And that trio right there is enough to make any radio just sound awesome. You know what I'm saying? This is Willie Bobo. This is one of Rose's favorite songs. And she used to play this all the time. Thank you for the day is what she used to say. And you'll hear her say that inside the clips that I'll be playing. And I realize it's not the best quality, but, you can hear her voice through the static and it was old school technology. It was, I think, a cassette tape we got this from. Oh, I'm going to do some Pat Metheny and some Keko Matsui. Yeah, Pat Metheny, you're right. Pam said, reminded me that Pat Metheny only wanted Rosetta to MC his concerts. And same thing with Keko Matsui. She was an icon. Every time when I was in Texas, I ran into Roy Ayers. And first thing out of Roy's mouth, how's Rosetta? How's she doing? And this is when she was living in Vegas. And every time I ran into Al Jarreau, Michael Franks, how's Rosetta doing? You are a powerful individual when the likes of Michael Franks, Al Jarreau. I saw George Duke in Texas. First thing out of his mouth, how's Rose doing? Bilal, what's going on, my brother? Yes, Cassie Wade Briggs, Butterball. That was her, Cassie's cousin, if I'm not mistaken. We just lost him as well. Once again, it's sounding good in heaven. If there's radio in heaven, it sounds real good. I understand, Pam. It's difficult for me. I was at a loss for words all night, real quiet at the studio and at home yesterday. Because everywhere I go, everywhere I turn, something reminds me. I remember Rose's smile the most, Funny thing about it, you guys didn't know, a lot of you guys, did you guys know that the rose was not her favorite flower? Everybody used to give her roses. She really didn't like those. It was an orchid of some kind, which was her favorite flower. Yes, I do. I'm going to see if I can work that I got to keep walking in for you, Mr. Van Knox. And I think I know where I'm going to put it. Hold on. If you take me with you, don't you know, Gigi, I'll be running and searching for you like a river that can find the sea. Yes, that would be me without you, my Gigi. Only you, my Gigi. Just for you, my Gigi. We are celebrating the life and the times of the legendary Rosetta Hines today. Mr. Van Knox had me add a song from, well, I just added it and I forgot it that quick. Some Gino Vanelli, another one of Rosetta's favorites. And it's one of my favorites as well. And it speaks volumes into her style. This is the Rise and Grind Morning Show. Your man Don Allen is with me. Yeah, and I know normally I do sound a lot more upbeat and a lot more up-tempo, but, and well, I should still be doing that today. It's just so hard. It is so hard. It is so very hard. I mean, it's challenging, you know. This song right here. You hear me playing it a lot, and each and every time you hear me play this song, know that I'm thinking about Rose. Because Rosetta and Al Jarreau were tight. They were tight. Yes, I got it, Mark. Thank you so much.
Like your mind. Sometimes.
I remember I used to just love watching Rosetta work, her and Doc Elliott, because it was like two surgeons in an operating room, and they would be looking, they'd be writing stuff down, and they would go over to the wall, and Pam knows what I'm talking about when I say go to the wall. There behind us in the studio, it was all carts. This was all back then. We had carts, and she would go back and she'd pull 6 and 7 songs at a time. Not that she would play those songs, but these are some of the songs that she would have to select from, and she would set them here. And I've seen Rose. She'll load up the machines, and then she'll write some more, and she'll start talking to me, and then she'll look over there, and no, that's not going to be right, and because it's got to be right. And then she'll get on the phone, and somebody will say something to her, and she changed the songs again, just to make sure the songs were right for you guys. It was fascinating, and she was like, Don, you always have to stay connected. You have to connect with your listeners, and that's where I kind of get it from. I want to connect with you guys. You know, I want to play everything you want to hear. I want to make sure I get as much of it as I can in an hour. And if I'm not getting it in an hour, what I will do is I'll play it after I get off the air so you can stay on and listen to it, so at least you'll hear your song. Take a little time. We're taking a little time. We're taking a lot of time and celebrating the life and the music and the way we loved her so. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. We loved you so much, Rose. Rose, 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 Rose. It's just so hard. It's so hard. Yes, yes, yes. I was sitting there, I was thinking about Tony Hoy, who was the in-house extra guy. He was the production director, and all-around do-it-all sort of guy, not only for the station, but for Rose. If Rose needed something, Tony would go and get it. And if I were there, Tony would recruit me to take him to go somewhere. And Rose wants this. We got to go get it now. Boom. It's amazing. If you've never worked in radio, man, I've had the privilege and the pleasure, the honor to be around some of the best, to learn from some of the best. Coming up next, we've got another clip from Rosetta Hines. I want you to stick around for that. It's going to take us right into the commercial stop set, and we're going to come back out with another clip of Rosetta Hines. Good morning, DJ Dex. Yes, Michelle, we love her so, so, so much, and I miss her already. I miss her. And as I was thumbing through Facebook yesterday, I saw somebody who actually, said they would put up the funeral arrangements, whoever it was. I find that challenging to believe that you could be doing that because of the fact that O'Neal and Mir they were putting them together when they posted that. So there are those who are out there just trying to look for a little bit of fame, and you too will kneel before the Lord, okay? Good morning, Margie Weaver. Thank you so much for joining us. You know one person, Pam, who I haven't heard from? I haven't heard from Tony Weaver. I got to reach out to him. I did speak to Cliff Coleman. Now, a lot of you, I owe a lot to Miss Rosetta Hines. She wasn't the only one that taught me everything that I know about radio. There were basically 4 people. First, it was Jim Ryan, and he is the Senior Vice President Programming for CBS Radio right now. I owe everything to Jim. Coming in a close second was Terry Arnold, followed by Rosetta, and then Larry Doc Elliott. Now, if you haven't heard Larry Doc Elliott, because I know a lot of you guys don't live in Detroit, we've got listeners all over the country right now. We've got listeners in Florida, we've got them over in Delaware, Connecticut, over in Arizona and Texas. But for those of you who don't know who Larry Doc Elliott is, go to YouTube, and I want you to type in WJZZ Larry Doc Elliott. And you want to hear smooth delivery. You want to hear class delivery. Now, it was challenging finding Rosetta's as it was. Because you can find a bunch of Rose's favorite songs on YouTube. I miss all these people so much. But it's been a privilege and a pleasure and a distinct honor for me. And I learned so much. I learned one thing overall. From Jim to Rose to Doc to Tony. You gotta love what you do, ladies and gentlemen. You have to love what you do, and I do love what I do so very much. And I'm spreading the love with Waldo, with G, with Cassie, with T-Mac, with DJ Mellow Mike, Steve Alcove. Spreading the love. They passed the torch to me. I'm going to pass the torch to them. We are celebrating the life and the music, the favorites of Miss Rosetta Hines. And somebody asked me, would I be able to attend the funeral? Let me tell you something. If I got to walk uphill in snow, 12 feet, with a pair of pink Pampers and blue baby booties on, yes, I'm going to be there. Now I'm going to let you enjoy the music. Coming up next, you'll hear Rosetta on the air.
Won't you take a little time, girl? Take 5 if you want to.
Another legend. Mr. Al Jarreau and the classic Take 5.
Tom Canning on piano. Nigel Wilkinson on drums.
Incidentally,
Jerome Remsen.
I'll take this moment out to remind each and every one of you, when I turn the camera off, the music will stop, but it doesn't have to. You can go to your app store, your Play Store, and download our app for Android or iPhone. You can also go to our website, WJZDRadioDetroit.com, and press play. Right now, we're going to get into a clip from Ms. Rosetta Hines on WJZDRadioDetroit.com. At least I thought we were. Okay, that wasn't cool. So I tell you what we're going to do.
WJZZ Jazz 106 at 1140. That's
Thank you,
Alita
Rose.
Adams. Come when you call. Uso El Mario, his new CD entitled Count Me In, and the live CD from Simply Red and Body Language Special Effects. Next, Vital Information, their new one entitled Ray of Hope. We'll also enjoy Swing Out Sister Najee Angela Bofield's new one. That's for you at WJZZ Jazz 106.
There's something special about a hip-hop.
You might think that she's a new face, but she's been on the scene all along. Everywhere that you want to go, she's already been there. She knows the bands, the groups, the artists, and the singers. Now she's putting them in the spotlight. It's Tanya Michelle, the new host of the Artist Spotlight on WJZDRadioDetroit.com. Thursday nights at 7 p.m. All of your favorite artists, local, national, and international. Hear their stories in their own words on the Artist Spotlight with Tanya Michelle, only on WJZDRadioDetroit.com. When you hear his voice, you hear influences straight out of Motown. You know that he's from the Motor City and he's ready for the world. This is Carl Reed back with his new hit single, In the Moment. And also, when it's time to wind it down, you can get it any way you want it.
Any way you want it, you can get it from me. We can do it on the bedroom floor, on the wall against the door, in the shower or between the sheets. Any way you want it, you can get it from me.
Look for Carl Reed's music on Pandora, Spotify, and iHeartMusic. And while you're there, check out Carl's new music on Blue Rivers Records. Live in the moment with Carl Reed.
Ladies, do you have a stylist? Are they good? Do they care about your hair? Do they care about your style or your curl? If you said no to any of these questions, then you should go to Menzie Salon, 22884 Ryan Road in Warren. Call 248-278-3158. At Menzie Salon, they care about your hair. They care about your cut, your color, and your style. Menzie Salon, 22884 Ryan Road in Warren. Call them at 248-278-3158. That's 248-278-3158. Menzie
Now,
Salon.
I'm going to be real
where they
quiet
care
here
about
because
your
Rose is
hair.
coming
They
back.
care
We're going
about
to do
your
another
cut,
clip,
your color,
and then
your
we're going
curl,
into one of her
and
favorite
your
songs by
style.
one of her favorite artists.
We are the stream.
This is Rosetta Hines.
WJZDRadio.com.
On WJZD. Again, really? You know, don't you just love technology? And it's sitting here flashing at me like it's playing. You know, so we're going to let it roll. I don't know what's going on. I did put it in, and I saw it there. So we're going to just let it roll for a minute here. and see what happens with it. And I'm going to go back to, because I know it's in here. Forgive me. Now, the first one went through without a problem. So I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to have to skip over this. And I'll bring it back at some other time, okay? Because it wants to act stupid. But if Rose were here... here, and I'm gonna get this on for you guys because you got to hear this.
My life in the sunshine. Everybody loves the sunshine. Sunshine. Everybody loves the sunshine. Sunshine. Folks get down in the sunshine. Sunshine. Yeah. Folks get brown in the sunshine. Just bees and things and flowers. 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 My life, my life, my life, my life in the sunshine. Everybody loves the sunshine. Sunshine. Everybody loves the sunshine. Sunshine. Folks get down in the sunshine. Sunshine. Folks get brown in the sunshine. Feel what I feel when I feel what I feel when I'm feeling in the sunshine. Feel what I feel when I feel what I feel when I'm feeling in the sunshine. Yes, 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 yeah. Do what I do when I do what I do when I'm doing in the sunshine.
Okay, I got it.
Do what I do.
I got it.
Do what I do when
This
I do
is
it.
Rosetta Hines. It took me a second. I had to straighten some things out. It's tech. I guess Rose wanted to play when she wanted to play. She wanted to hear Roy Ayers like you guys did. So that was one of her favorite songs by one of her favorite artists, Mr. Roy Ayers. Let's see if we can get it going now.
WJZZ Jazz 106 at 11:50. Good morning. Thank you so much for it. Vital information. Their new CD entitled Ray of Hope. This is Rio Live. As we remind you what's happening on the first night of June at the Fox, WJZZ Jazz 106 presents the Clark Duke Project featuring Lenny White and special guest Rochelle Farrell. Get your tickets at the Fox box office and Ticketmaster outlets. As we say, good afternoon, upcoming. In the afternoon for Susie, going to play Pamela Williams. Going to play Cajun Moon by request. And a good morning and a pleasant day to Dr. Kyle and staff, west 7 Mile. Taking care of the people, health-wise. Musically speaking, you're Rosetta Hines and Najee at WJZZ Jazz 106.
She was golden. She was more than just your local radio announcer. She was a part of this city. She identified jazz. She brought jazz into the forefront. She educated us on what real music, what good music, what true music was all about. As I said earlier, she actually taught so many women how to speak and articulate and carry themselves with a classy sort of vibe, because Rosetta always emulated that class, and it was natural. She was not putting on an act, ladies and gentlemen. This woman exuded class. You know, it was amazing to me, and it's such a blessing to me to have had her, you know, take me under her wing, so to speak, and show me, you know, what I needed to know to move this thing called jazz forward, you know. And in doing so, let me tell you something about me real quick. I love a lot of music. I love rock and roll. You can hear Sammy Hagar, Led Zeppelin, and all of that coming out of my house at certain times of the day. You're going to hear some house music. But when it comes to jazz, it allows me to think clearly. The musical mastery of the musicians and the lyrics from the artists themselves, it takes you on a journey. And Rosetta was like the conductor on the train that took you on that journey. She told you where you were going to go, and she made sure you had a smooth ride all the way there. And that was the beauty of Rosetta Hines. You know, she taught me so much, and I'm going to miss her so, so much. And I am privileged, thank you, Lord, for allowing me the opportunity to be able to present her with the Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you, Kimmy Horn, for also allowing me the privilege of presenting that award to Rose. Also, one of her favorite songs here. Yeah, you're right, Cassie. Rosetta Anwade gave us words for us, words to inspire us. Never stop on your journey. She took us on a journey and showed us the joys and the beauty and the color that was inside that journey. It was so fascinating, and it was like a finely woven tapestry. And she's still on it. We just couldn't go with her, you know. And you too, you've got your own tapestry you've got to weave and put together. I want each of you to promise yourself, not me, promise yourself that you're going to find what it is that you love to do, and that you will go out there and give it your best shot. And if you're successful, great, fine. The world will be a better place for that. But if you're not, at least you know that you've given it your best shot and you have no regrets. You have no regrets. You left it all out there. You did your best, Lord, and, you know, God's not going to give you more than you can handle. So at 99.99999% of the time, you will be successful. Because once you look back, you can be like, wait a minute. Actually, I did it. Yeah, you did. You know, she was the coolest. She had the sexiest and coolest voice on the airwaves. She was also very down to earth and inspirational. Thank you, Timothy Dickerson, for that. I'm sorry, I hadn't been putting these up. I've been kind of busy trying to let you guys hear what Rosetta was saying. Yeah. One of her another favorite groups, and actually she introduced me to this group. You know, this is Manhattan Transfer, and coming up, one of Rosetta's very close friends, the man who just said, when I'm in Detroit, nobody's in bringing me on but you, period. And arguably one of the baddest guitarists I've ever seen, one of the smoothest guitarists I've ever heard. And I remember when, was it me and who was the guy that hung out with Tony Hoy all the time? I forgot his name, but we went to see Pat Metheny, I think at Pine Knob, and we had front row seats. And we were sitting there vibing and enjoying the show, and he was like, you know what, Don? You know, I was like, what? He was like, the party's up on the grass. Let's go up there. So we went up there, and we found two people and gave them our tickets to go down front because they wanted to go down front. And we sat up on complete strangers' blankets, and we were enjoying beer and whatnot. And they came back, and we didn't drink all of their stuff, but they was like, you're from JZZ? And then we went back down to the front. It was hilarious. So many great memories. So many, many great memories. And Rosetta was there, too. She wasn't up on the grass with us. She was backstage with Pat. But, you know, it was just... I want to thank you guys. Before we go ahead, I want to thank you guys because you guys are making this so easy. It makes it easier for me to move forward. It makes it easy for me to accept what is. Just being able to share this time and share this music with you guys. And I want you to know that means a lot to me. To know that I got some people on my team that, that will at least understand. And it's easy for you to understand because you've lived this as well as I have. You guys were here. You guys were at JZZ with us. I mean, not one of us, not one announcer from JZZ ever went in there alone because he had you guys with us. He had every single one of y'all were in there. You guys were in there with us, and we know and we thank you. You know, from the morning show with Rosetta Hines to the overnight show with Tony Hoy. Yeah, the third shift guys, they were with us too. They were like, hey, Don, we checking you out. Well, I wasn't on third shift. I was on the 10 to 2. I used to come on right behind Tony Hoy, or sometimes in front of Tony Hoy, or behind Tony Weaver. So we had Tony, Don, Tony. And at the very end, right before we changed to 105.9 Jams, I had the great displeasure of signing us off the air. And it was a sad day in Detroit when JZZ left. Rosetta went over to WGPR, and I followed her over there for a little while, and then I left Detroit, moved to Texas, and I was done with radio. We didn't have jazz anymore, and let me show you how God is. Quick story. First, let me bring on one of Rosetta's favorites. This is Pat Metheny. It is Dalton Lee. Melody Harvey, hello, how are you, dear? One of my favorite bartenders right there, going over to Teresa's place and hook Melody up. Just say, I don't want nobody to make me a drink but Melody, and she will hook you up, okay? Quick story. I was done with radio when I left JZZ. When I left JZZ, I went to GPR, then left there and went down to Texas. And I was in Houston, at a jazz bar. Me and my friend Derrick Henry, and whom I had met in Texas, who was from Detroit. And I'm standing at a bar, and I'm listening to the band, and it was this older gentleman. What's up, Joe? How you doing, my brother? And the gentleman was standing next to me, said, "They sound pretty good, don't they?" I was like, "Yeah, they're okay." He was like, "Really? What's wrong?" I was like, "Well, the drummer's too hot. The mic, on the drums are too hot. Bring your background vocals up, percussionist, and I love to hear the horn a little bit more." He was like, "Well, you sound like you know something about jazz. You play?" I was like, "No." He was like, "What, do you sing?" I was like, "No." I was like, "I've been in radio quite a few years." And he was like, "Oh, okay. What station?" So I said WJZZ in Detroit. And he was like, "Really?" He was like, "Well, let me introduce myself. This is how God is. My name is George Thomas, and I am the general manager from KTSU, where we play jazz." And I was like, "Really?" And I'm still not interested because I didn't really want to get into radio. I wanted to live a normal life. And if that's normal, but this is normal for me. But so he gives me a card. He's like, "Hey, man, give me a call, I'd like to talk to you." So, weeks go by, I chit-chat with him and that sort of thing. One night he calls me up. He was like, "Don, I need a favor." I was like, "What? What you need?" He was like, "Can you come in and do my overnights for me? You play whatever you want." So I said, "Okay." So I brought my CDs in. Back then we had CDs. And I do my show. And he called me up the next morning. "Don, can you come in the office for a second?" It's like, "Sure, what's up?" It's like, he offered me a job, and I took it. And I was just a little part-time weekend guy. It was cool, no big deal. And I ended up filling in for other jocks when they didn't come in. Thank you, Carolyn. And thank you, Melody. I appreciate that. So what I did during my travels, I used to always come back to Detroit and check on my mom. And I forgot who it was. I think it was Dion who picked me up at the airport one time. And on the way to dropping me off, he's like, "Man, you got to hear this CD." So he threw this CD in there. It was a homemade CD. He threw it in. And I'm like, "Who is this sounding like Al Jarreau?" But it's not. But they jam it. He was like, "Remember that dark-skinned guy that used to come by JZZ all the time?" I was like, yeah. He was like, "That's him, Kim." He was actually playing Kim's debut album for me. So I told him I had to take it back with me. So Dion gave it to me, and I brought it back. And that night, I went on the air, and I played it. And as a result, the phone lit up like a Christmas tree. I was like, "Oh, you like it?" So I tell you what we're going to do. Coming back next hour, we're going to play the entire album from Kim. So we played the entire album. And the next morning, the boss called me in. "What were you playing last night?" I was like, "Guy from Detroit. Got a nice album." He was like, "Nobody else has that here?" I'm like, "No, KTSU is the first one with it." He was like, "We got to add that. We got to add it." I was like, "All right, cool. Do it. Let's do it." And that's how Kim blew up like wildfire. He spread like COVID, for lack of a better way of saying it. But that was my story of me getting out of radio and showing you how God pulls you right back. He wasn't through with me yet. I come back to Detroit. And I run back into O'Neill and Lloyd. And I ended up on 98.7 The Breeze. And you guys would have never believed it was me on The Breeze because I didn't sound like me. I was only on weekends. And I sounded like 98.7 The Breeze. "Hey, it's Don Allen got some Elton John and some Journey coming up for you. It's sad that you have to do that to play a different type of music, but you know, it is what it is, you know. But everywhere I went, everybody kept clamoring about they wanted jazz. So I was sitting in my buddy Thad's basement. He was cutting my hair. Back then I had hair. And we're coming up with another clip from Rosetta, then we're going to get out of here. Yeah. We've got about, it's only 50 seconds long. This is our final clip from Rosetta Hines. Then we're going to go into Jean-Luc Ponty, and then I'm going to sign off. But I'm going to tell you how we came up with this station just a few minutes. Stay with us. WJZD Radio Detroit.com.
WJZZ Jazz 106 at 1209. Good afternoon. Swing out, sister. That's the way it goes. Can't get enough. Ken Navarro. Weather-wise, high expected around 75. Afternoon showers in the forecast. A mixture of clouds and sun. On the cool side, windy. 52 overnight low. Come Friday, clouds and breezy. Rain is possible, 64. Cloudy on Saturday. Windy on the cool side, with periods of rain, high 62. Right now we have mostly cloudy skies, 68 at Metro, 72 at City. And this is Earl Klugh. Slow boats to Rio. WJZZ Jazz 106.
She was the best in the business, and she always will be. She was my friend. She was my teacher. She was my mentor. She was my co-worker. She was my boss. And then sometimes she was my mom, too. We're going to miss her so, so much. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rose in full bloom. Thank you for the day. That's how she used to approach her show, and that's how she would end it. And she would always play this song. This is Jean-Luc Ponty, The Gardens of Babylon. As we say farewell to one of the best in the business. I'm going to miss you so much, Rose. God, I'm going to miss you. Yeah. Listen, guys, I'm going to get out of here because this isn't working. I thank you all for joining me today as we celebrate Rosetta's life. DJ Waldo will be celebrating in his tribute this evening. I spoke with O'Neill. He said after he gets through assisting Mir with the final arrangements, he is going to put together his journey with Rosetta. And so we're going to play that. And I'm not sure if Kyle is going to do something as well. I'll get with him. And, well, he'll be on at 2 o'clock. You'll hear him. Out Cold is going to do a WJZZ Classic Blend today at noon. So stay with us. We thank you for your support. We thank you for listening. If you don't already have our app, please drop it in your phone. We have apps for Android and for iPhone. And just type in WJZD or WJZD Radio. It's either one or the other. And you can always go to our website. Incidentally, speaking of support, if you'd like to support us, go to our website, WJZDRadioDetroit.com. Scroll down to the bottom. You'll see a gold donate button. Click it, make a donation. We'd appreciate that. All right, guys, I want you to go out and be the blessing that I know you are. Make it a great day on purpose and do it with authority. Thank you, Carolyn. It was therapeutic for me to look back and see where all of the things that I've learned, where they came from. Thank you guys for sharing that with me. Okay, I really appreciate it from the heart. Stay with us next hour. We'll hear from Sergio Mendez, Shack Attack, Roy Oviedo, Special Effects, Spyro Gyra, Stan Getz, Stanley Clark, Stevie Wonder, Tower of Power, and so much more. We're playing all of Rosetta's favorite songs all the way till noon. Then we've got special tributes that'll be throughout the weekend, probably. All right? Guys, have a great day on purpose. I'm Don Allen. Thank you for joining me. And remember to make each and every day count. We are WJZDRadioDetroit.com. I'm out.